Hello my students, how are you? Today I'm going to demonstrate only 4 problems because this lesson is similarly to what you did last time, simplifying expressions. You are going to combine like terms, distribute, and then combine the like terms. The only difference here is that the expressions have more terms, so you will have to do a little bit of more steps, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do a step by step, and when I check your work, that is the way I expect to see, okay? I want to see all your work and not just answers. Okay, so let's begin with number 1. Uh, if you look over here, like I said before, if the expression has parentheses, that means it's not simplified, okay? We need to get rid of these parentheses. And before you do that, you gotta check if there is a number in front of the parentheses, outside the parentheses, or a negative. For example, this one has 24 minus 8x. We cannot combine those, and they have no negative outside or no number. So for this example, we can go ahead and just get rid of the parentheses and just write it like this. But on this one, the x minus 3x in parentheses has the negative outside. So let's put a 1 because that means there is a negative 1 outside the parentheses. And let's just multiply this negative 1 times this number. So negative 1 times 3x, negative 1 times 3 will give you negative 3. And then just bring down the x. Okay, and now we can see that we can combine this negative ax minus 3x, and you basically just add in the negatives, right? So you gonna keep the negative sign and then just add those numbers. Negative a minus 3, that's 11x. Okay, and that is the answer. On number 2, you see the expression right here has a lot of terms, but it's okay. Just let's look one at a time. We're gonna start with this one with the parentheses from left to right. So I'm gonna just bring this down for now. I'm just looking at the numbers in parentheses. For this one, 4x minus 6x squared, can we combine these terms? Are they the same terms, the same variables? No, this one is just x and this one has x to the second power. So whenever the exponents are different, we cannot combine those terms, okay? So we're just gonna leave it the same. There is no number in front, no negative. So just get rid of the parentheses. There is nothing to multiply from the outside. So just bring down the numbers. This one too. And then right here we have a negative sign outside the parentheses. So let's write 1 right here, negative 1. And we're going to distribute. I'm going to distribute this negative 1 times 6. Negative 1 times 6 is negative 6x. And then negative 1 times 3, that's negative 3. Okay, and now that we don't have parentheses, now we're gonna combine like terms. So what numbers, let's look at the variables. The variables that have the same exponents, so in this case x squared, and I see another x squared right here. These have the same exponents, so we can combine these two terms. So that's gonna be 2x squared minus 6x squared. So you're looking only at the coefficients, 2 minus 6. That is, subtract those numbers and will be negative because negative 6 is bigger. So that will be 4x squared, right? I combine these two only. And okay, so I got those. Just gonna cross it out right here. And now look at the ones that are left. We have x here and negative 6x here. So I can combine these two right here. And that is 4 minus 6. Again, subtract those numbers. 4 minus 6 is 2. Negative 2x. And once I use them, I just cross them out. And then the last two is 9 minus 3. So 9 minus 3, that is negative 6. Positive 6. So right here, that is the answer. There's no any more terms that we can combine because now the variables, they have different exponents. The exponent right here is 2, the exponent right here is 1. Okay, so that is 1 and 2. The next one I'm going to show you is number 10. Okay, so the variable right here is q. We have q squared and q and another q squared. So you should be able to combine those two. But first, let's take care of these exponents right here. Exponents, I mean parentheses. So the number outside here is negative 2/3. So we multiply that times 3q. Okay. So that will give you negative, okay, it's a fraction, right? So whenever you have a fraction, let's make this into a fraction so that we can multiply these two. So that 3, put it over 1, and that will be a fraction. So you will have, and then from here you multiply the top numbers. So across 2 times 3, negative 2 times 3, that's negative 6. And once you use a negative, you don't use it again. You just do 3 times 1. That's 3, right? Over 3. And then bring down the q. And then right here you do the same. You distribute this fraction with the negative 7. And a negative times a negative, that will make a positive, right? And make that negative 7 into a fraction, so put it over 1. So you will multiply negative 2 times negative 7, that's positive 14 on top, divided by, now the bottom numbers, 3 times 1, that's just 3. Okay, and bring down these numbers right here, 9q2, and bring down this one, plus 5q squared. Okay, so now we can combine like terms. I have this q squared and this q squared, so that's 9 plus 5. That will give you 14q squared, right? These two, and then that's it, because this one has q and this one doesn't have q. So we just bring it down, okay? So, but you can still simplify this fraction. This is 6 divided by 3, that is 2. 6 divided by 3, that is 2. Bring down the sign, q, and the variable. And then this one, 14 divided by 3. Can we divide 14 by 3? No, right? It will stay like that. So just leave the answer like that. And that is it. There is our answer. I'll try to go slow on this one because now we have this variable outside and you have to multiply this variable m with these two numbers. Okay, so I'll show you how. Let's distribute this for m times this number. Because this is a fraction, let's make this 4 into a fraction. So first let's multiply the fractions. 4 times 3, that will be 12. And 1 times 2, that will be 2, right? And then now do the same with the m's. You got a variable times variable. So m times m, I'm just gonna write here. M times m, okay? And I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. Let's distribute this for m times that negative 1. For m times negative 1. So that's just gonna be negative 4m. Okay, let's do the same right here with the 6. Negative 6 outside times this. Put it over 1 to multiply these two fractions. So that's negative 6 times 2, that's negative 12. Divided by 1 times 3, that's 3. And don't forget the variable, this one has m, so just bring it over here. And then negative 6 times 3, we don't need the 1 anymore